Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I have for you a card. This is a first birthday card, as you can see, but I didn't use dies to make this. In fact, I used my ScanNCut with the aid of the Fit to Path feature in the downloadable version of Canvas Workspace. It really is a powerful tool to have at your disposal, and I'm going to show you how it works. Stick with me and I'll show you how. In this video, I'll show you how you can take text and fit it to a path. And in this case, we're going to be fitting it to a circle. Now, the fit to path function is only available in the download version of Canvas Workspace. So if you don't have that already downloaded and want to follow along with this video, you need to go and grab a copy of that now. And if you don't have it, one of the easy ways to do that is to go online to the online version, and here on this opening page, click the download icon there so that you can either download it for Windows or for Mac. However, if you've already closed this page so that it does not appear again, then you need to go to the Brother Solution Center, support.brother.com, and you'll be able to select your country or your region and the language, select your machine, your operating system, whether that be Windows or Mac, and then Canvas Workspace, and it has information about Workspace, and then you will agree to download it, and it will begin downloading for you here. I'm not going to reinstall this, so I'm just going to ignore that altogether. Okay, now once you've downloaded it and followed the instructions to place it onto your device, then that will be available to you even when you're offline. You do not have to be on the internet when you're using Canvas Workspace for your device, or your Windows or your Mac device. There will be some times, however, when you do need to be on the internet, and that is going to be in cases like when you have a file in the cloud that you want to bring into Canvas Workspace, or when Brother is updating the software, and especially when you're trying to transfer your file to your machine. If you have a wireless machine, you'll need to be connected to the internet. But other than that, you can happily work offline anytime. So let's go back over to Canvas Workspace, and I'm going to have a circle in this design and some text. And the text, as you will see, is going to be for a birthday card. So I'm going to have happy, and I've already clicked on the caps lock to have all caps for my sentiment. And this is now Antique Oakland, which is the first in the drop-down menu, or it would be the last font that I used, which indeed was Antique Oakland, but I want to use something different, and something that I've chosen is this one here. It's called Comica Boom. This is not a system font, it's one that I actually got from Creative Fabrica, which is, it was a free font with commercial use as well. So I've got my two shapes. I'm going to sort of guess as to how big I want this. I think I put around 4 inches because this is going to go onto a 5x7 card. So I've got my circle, I've got my text, and it doesn't matter where these are in relation to each other at this moment. We don't even have to worry about aligning them, because what you will do is you will just highlight what you want to fit onto the path, the happy to the circle, go over to edit, and then come down to where it says process overlap. And here are the usual process overlap shapes that we deal with. But this time there's a new one, and it's called text. And you'll see there's the T with a curved line, and when I hover over that, you'll see that it identifies it as fit to path. So if you keep an eye on the screen here, I'll just come in a little bit closer. When I click on this icon, the fit to path icon, this is what is going to happen. The word happy is now attached to that circle. The circle is essentially gone now. That's why it's that aqua blue. It is no longer functional. The only thing that's functioning now is the word happy, because that has taken on the path of this circle. You'll also see here, I'll come in a little bit closer, you'll see this cross here, little blue cross. When you put your cursor on that, you can then start to move your text around your shape. So if I zoom back out, you'll see when I grab that, it will move it wherever I like on that shape. Now this is still text. It is not an actual shape at the moment. It's still text, so you can change that. So you can click on here and then click again, and you'll see the cursor is blinking there, and you could change that to, let's say you wanted to say welcome instead. You can do that and it will still change. So we just take it back to what we had before, happy. So when you click on the text there, you'll see you have these additional drop-down menus now available. They all relate to text and fit to path. Here we have a down arrow and an up arrow where you can take the spacing of the characters and either squeeze them closer together, or use the up arrow, spread them apart like that. Also notice this blue arrow or blue cross is over to the left. That is because it is on the left alignment at the moment. That is the default when you put a text onto a path. But you have other choices. You also have center. So if you look at the little cross, it's going to move. And it's going to move to the middle now of that word. And it's here. So that you can orient this according to the actual center part of that word. And then I can get that exactly where I want it in relationship to the other letters. There's also right, which means it's now going to place it here. And the other alignment, or horizontal alignment, is one that's called distribute. That means it's going to fill the entire shape. So it's going to wrap around this circle, for example. So the word happy is distributed completely around there. I'm going to go back to what we had originally. The other thing is the vertical alignment, and that is whether a shape is going to be, or the text is going to be around the outside of the shape, through the middle of the shape, or on the inside of the shape. And as I click these, you'll see that it begins to move. So you have those choices as well. I'm just going to leave mine like that, and I'm also going to go ahead and spin it round, start to get it into the position that I want. The final drop down is this one. This is the path direction. This word starts with H and then ends in the Y. So that means it is start to end. If I want to use this from end to start and put the Y here, you can do that as well. And we are going to be doing that later on, and I'll show you exactly how that works when we get to that point. But for now, I'm just going to put it back to start to end. I'm going to place it about where I want it, just using my eye to see what looks good to me. I'm going to increase the spacing a little bit like that. Okay, so that's pretty good. And remember, this is still text. So if you wanted to change that, you can do that now. If you didn't want the word happy, you've changed your mind and you want to use the word welcome. You've clicked on it. It's put this blue bounding box around it. You click on it again, and then you can change the word. So to welcome rather than to happy. Right. So that's fine with me so far, but I've got another word I need to add, and that is birthday. But rather than go through all the steps that I took to get to this point, all I need to do is to duplicate this, and I can move this aside and change the happy to birthday. Again, by clicking again, and then I can highlight all the letters and replace them at one time. Change that to birthday. Now when I click off of this, you'll see that it is still along the path. So this is still text, and we can rotate this to where we want it. So I want it at the bottom down here. Okay. I can bring this over to help me visualize how this is going to look. I'm quite satisfied with the spacing on the word birthday. So now, just to let you know, you can also find these same functions in your other drop-down menus. Under Edit, you can use your Fit to Path function here. And over here under Properties, you'll find anything to do with text here as well. For example, the font that you've chosen, the spacing, the alignment, and of course the path direction. Which brings me now to this word at the bottom here, birthday. I could keep it that way, but I don't want that. I want this to have happy from the beginning to the end, and I want birthday to be the same. So I want the B to be over here rather than the Y. So to do that, I clicked on the word birthday, and now I can go to the path direction and change it from end to start, and then I can choose where I want to place it, and I want it on that outside path like that. And I think that will look really good right there. So now I have everything in place. I've got the happy along the top of the circle and birthday along the bottom. So that means I don't have to cut out a circle, cut out the letters, then try to get them spaced along the path of the circle. It's all done for me, and it all will cut out as one individual shape. So now I need to turn these text pieces into shapes. So to do that, we need to go back into Edit, go down to the Process Overlap, and underneath here you'll see Convert to Shapes. Now, if I've clicked off of it, it's going to be grayed out. Once I click inside of this path here, then it will change and it will highlight, Convert to Shapes. So I need to change those to shapes in order to weld them onto another shape. And I'm going to weld them onto a circle. You could weld them onto whatever you like. You could weld them onto a square, a rectangle, a heart, whatever you like. Even something like this, where you would take a path and draw it. You could have the word happy birthday flow all the way along there. So you can curve the text however you like. But as I said, in this case, it's going to be a circle. So what I want to do now is highlight happy and birthday, go to Convert to Shapes, click here, and you'll see that the circle is now gone. And all that's left are happy and birthday. Now they may look like text, but they are no longer functioning as text. They are going to function as a shape. And if you click on it and click again, you'll see that it has all the points for how those letters are made. Okay, so that is your clear indication that you have a shape and not just a font. I'm also going to duplicate these letters because I'm going to be paper piecing them on top of my shape that I eventually come up with. So I'm going to duplicate those now so I don't forget. And I also need to keep in mind that if I change the size of the letters in here, the ones that are already on the screen, then I need to be sure that I also change these so that they are in proportion. So if I were to do that, I would select everything and then resize it all at one time. And then that way I'm assured that everything is in proportion. So now we need to bring in a shape, a circle. I'm going to place that in here, and I can bring the letters up and move them so that they overlap, or I could simply just make this circle bigger if I needed to, and I'll just work with it till I get it so that I know that all the letters are going to be overlapping, and I've got it where I want it. So I can move that up just a little bit there. Okay. And I'm happy with that. No pun intended. No happy, pun intended. So the next thing is to highlight all three shapes now, because they are indeed three separate shapes. And go back to Process, Overlap, and Weld. And now, Happy Birthday has been welded to that circle, and we have these letters that we can then paper piece over top of those letters there as well, if we want to. Next, I need a mat for this to sit on. So I'm going to go to Offset here at the bottom, and I'm going to offset it outward and only around the outer edge. So, but I'm going to bring this down to about 0.08. That should be enough. So I hit OK. And on top now is this offset Happy Birthday. If I give it some color, you'll see it will be a solid shape like that. It's on top at the moment, so we need to send it to the back so that we can have a better idea how this is going to look. You can click on the shape that is on the top. At the moment it doesn't have any fill to it, so to see what that's going to look like, we're going to give it some color. And there is our Happy Birthday. So these are going to be cut out of different cardstock. One for the mat, which is slightly larger than the other part of the topper. But when you put them together, they will align perfectly like that. And then you still have these letters. Bring that to the front. Which you can have on top here. So you could, if you wanted to, even have like a rainbow of colors for your words. So you could have a, maybe an orange and a blue and a pink and a green, a purple, whatever you like. Or you could have them all one color. It makes no difference. So that's all up to you. So there is our text fit to the path, but I do have one other thing that I want to do, and that is to actually add some more text in here. And we're going to add first for a first birthday. And I'm going to highlight that and come to Process Overlap, and I'm going to divide this so that I have three separate letters. I can take this one and make it larger like that, and then what I can do is I can weld these letters together. Of that overlap, I'll just group that, and I'll continue to use my keyboard arrow to have that S there like like that. And I can highlight the entire thing and weld it. And then I can make another copy so that I can do some paper piecing later. And I can just set that aside. This then is going to go into the middle. Now I have a choice if I can either use the subtract function or I could use the divide. So I'm going to get it into position here. I already have that duplicated, so I don't have to worry that I won't have that welded first available. But if I have forgotten and I still want to do it, I could just use the divide. It will still punch it through, but as you see, it still has a blue box around it. So that means I still have that welded shape there. All right. So now we have, I'll just get rid of that for now because I know I have the other one. If I bring this in, I can have that behind there, like that. And the first, you could just have the mat coming through, or in my case, I'm going to use this instead. I'm actually going to bring it to the front, like that. And I'm going to add a mat for that one as well. So again, offset. And I'm going to bring it to 0.04. And give it some color. Send it to the back. And there we have it. So if I were to group that, I can bring that over and show you what that's going to look like. So I have all the elements now. I want to be sure that I ungroup everything before I send it to my machine. Otherwise, I won't be able to ungroup it. These will be separate pieces of card. And I've got my happy birthday. Now I want to check on the size. So I'm going to see what size I have here. Actually, this mat is the largest. So let's take a look and see how large it is. Okay, it's about 1 inch more than what I want. So what I'll do is come out and I'm going to select everything. And I'm going to group it so that I make sure that everything is selected. And then I'll start bringing it down in size. So I bring it to where it is about there. So now it's around. I click off of it, ungroup it, and then we can double check it again. So it's a little bit big yet. So again, group it. And check on it again. Maybe one more. And that's pretty good. It's around 4 inches, so I'm quite satisfied with that. So now I've got all my pieces then to send to my machine. I've got First, we're just going to go in here along with the mat. I've got my happy birthday letters, my original topper, and the mat that's going to go behind. So then now I can save it, or I can send it as a cutting file to my machine. I could download it to my PC or onto a USB as a cutting file as well. So we'll just send this over to the machine, and it's ready for us to go and cut this out and make our birthday card. So just to recap very shortly or very quickly for you, if you have any text you want to place onto a path and have curly text, even, let's type something in here. We can fit it on path like a freehand, in which case we would select both of these, go to edit, and flip to the path, and then we can move that to wherever we want and have it flow like that. We can space out the letters like so. And we have our text, which is now actually curved. So there you have it, how to fit text to a path. And now it's time to make the card. Being cut out, and I'm ready to assemble the card, starting with the card base, which is going to be a 5x7. So my card is cut to 10x7. And just score along the 5-inch line, fold it, and burnish it. I've got my mat here as well, which I'm going to place onto the card, and it is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and as you can see, I've taken the middle of it out, which gives me less bulk and also gives me some extra cardstock for something else. So we'll put that there. And then for my base piece, I've got this that is cut at 4.5 by 6.5, and that's going to go on there. So I'm going to build the rest of the card first before I place it on my card blank. And I've got, as I said, the pieces cut out. Now the paper that I'm using today is from Making Memories by First Edition. This is one of their premium paper pads, and this is the 6x6. And I've got my letters as well. So, first I need to decide where I'm going to place this, because I also cut out some little balloons that I want to have on the card. So I may want it, could have it central like that. which I think is going to be fine. So we'll put this down next. That's going to go in there. Now, if you didn't want to place those other letters on top, you don't have to, because that's easily readable, isn't it? We know that definitely says happy birthday. However, I've got these individual letters, which I'm going to place on top. So let's get these out. Move these little balloons out of the way for the moment. And for the center, I have my mat for the first. And then what I did is I cut out several of these so that I can actually build it up, and then I can add a little bit of dimension to the center of this card. Just get those out of the way, and then we can place the rest of these down. I've glued in place. Looking quite good, I think. And now we can start putting this together. And now I can come in with a little bit of this foam tape. Just place that on the back. That is very nice. Gives it a lot of dimension. Very nice indeed. So, next let's get this down onto the card. A couple of little strips from that same paper that I used for the letters. I'm just going to place it on the top there. In fact, I can, if I want, just go along here. Then I can just cut off the excess. This into position. Just let it rest on there till I'm happy with the placement, and then I can just push it down. And as I said, we've got these little balloons which are here. There we are. Which we could have maybe coming like this, perhaps, even on the centerpiece. And then I thought what I would do is take some crochet cotton, that's all it is, and make strings for the balloons as well. We could just put a bit of tape behind there and let them hang down like that. Decide now where I want these to go. Yeah, that one going like that. And one here. And then maybe one here. And then we can just trim those strings off. Well, I think I am going to put a foam square behind it. There is our first birthday card completed. And of course you could add a sentiment inside here. Perhaps stamp something inside. Even have some more images in there. And this is all thanks to Brother Canvas Workspace, the downloadable version. Thank you very much for joining me today for this tutorial on Canvas Workspace. I hope that you didn't find it too terribly confusing and that you will give it a try yourself. See what you can come up with. It's really a lot of fun. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. I'll be back with more soon. In the meantime, please stay safe and crafty hugs. Bye.